Cade, is the expectation now get close to 100 yards receiving every game after week 1?
No, I'm going to catch what they throw to me and get whatever yards they give me.
Obviously, there's going to be teams that try and take away Marv and Emeka. And Coach Day was talking about you and Julian stepping up. How much of a focus is that when you know that the focus is on some of these other guys to have the days that you get?
We got a lot of weapons on this team, so I mean, just take every opportunity you can and run with it. Wherever who's getting doubled doesn't really matter. The ball's got to come to somebody, so whoever gets it, we're comfortable with that ball in their hands.
Hey, when did you learn the shimmy shake to get open on that third down crosser?
Shimmy shake to get open. That's a key. He taught me, key. Ask him about that.
I see it on the rewatch, and it doesn't look like something that maybe you would have done a year or two ago, getting that open, an open field. You've talked a lot about trying to get better with your route running. When you see yourself do that on film on the rewatch, it's got to be a little bit of a point of pride knowing that how far you've come for route running.
Yeah, seeing what you do in the sand out there in the summer kind of come to life a little bit when that happens. It's nice to see, but then again, I mean, if you do it one time, it really doesn't do you much good. So I'm gonna just keep trying stacking them in.
Do you remember being that open, as open as you were on the seam route? Do you remember a time when you were that open? That seemed like the most wide open Cade Stover's been as an Ohio State tight end.
Yeah, that was pretty. But that was a good play action play call. Got the linebackers a bite, so I mean, that's just I got luck. Got put in a good position there to do well.
Now being at Ohio State for many years now, do you think that your leadership has started to grow, especially on the offensive line?
On the what?
Like
on the offensive line?
Offensive side.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I try and just, like I said, you take everything day by day, and don't make sure nothing's forced. I think people that have to feel like they have to talk in situations are normally people that nobody wants to listen to. So just make sure whatever you say comes out naturally, and you mean it, and you can back up what you say. You're talking about like fan-wise, as far as with the fans? I mean, as much as fans want to think that they are qualified enough to call plays and come out there and do our job, I mean, good for them. But I can promise you that nobody here cares at all about what they say. We appreciate all their support and everything else, but when it comes down to the X and O's about them talking about stuff, I mean, they don't see the thousands of reps that we're putting in, and Kyle and Devin and those guys are putting in. I mean, that's a tough spot to step into, and to be honest with you, I think they did well, and I trust wholeheartedly both those guys with the game in their hands. And I think for a start, that was awesome. I remember people calling for CJ's head when he first started that, and it's just, yeah, I'm going to keep my mouth shut about that every year.
What is support like for you from the leadership of the team for those guys? What do you say to them? Is it specific plays that you put out?
No, I mean, there's nothing specific. It just all has to do with the makeup. I mean, they're here for a reason. They got all the talent in the world, all the arm strength in the world, and sometimes, I mean, everybody's going to make a mistake. I'm going to make a mistake. Tommy's going to make a mistake. X, Marv, everybody's going to make a mistake at some point. And whether you want to or not, we're the ones that don't want to see it the most. But, I mean, it's just basically how many times can you maximize every good opportunity and stack high ground for low days.
Kid, I know that none of you guys are kind of immune from that sort of criticism, but it probably is heightened for a quarterback. Do you, I don't know, put your arm around those guys or talk to them any extra because they're kind of dealing with it for the first time?
Yeah, I mean, when you first deal with it, it's hard not to look at some of the stuff, I guess, but I mean, once you go through it and you realize that, I mean, some homeboy in his basement texting about him really doesn't matter what you're going to do on Saturday, and I can assure you that when we go in that game on Saturday, that we are not thinking about Johnny in his basement typing that, hey, you guys suck.
Kyle seemed to really like settle in the second half. Did you guys feel him start to settle into the game and kind of everything slow down for him?
Yeah, I honestly felt like he was settling most of the game. To be honest with you, we got to protect a little bit better up front, and I think make things easier for him. But I think the situation that he had, I mean, I think he played a hell of a game, and I mean, I'm happy to see week 1 to week 2 strides and week 2 to week 3 strides, and from there on out.
What goes into it? You've done this at multiple positions now for a lot of years. What goes into week 1 to week 2? Is there actually something that you can see from week 1 to week 2, or is it just naturally the game slowing back down for everybody?
when you don't play for that long, you kind of forget how to play a little bit first, to be honest with you. You kind of feel yourself back out, like, okay, like, am I as good as what I thought I was? Is this really going to work again? And then once you figure that out, I mean, then you just basically you keep stacking reps, you keep stacking days and games, and once you do that, and that's why week 1 and week 2 we were just talking about, is that's the biggest jump you're going to see in college football teams normally, because you get comfortable with who you are again, and then you can hone in on what, hey, this didn't work or this did work.
Did you have any of those moments on Saturday
What's that?
where you forgot how to, you forgot how to do this basically?
Just, I mean, sometimes you get so like wrapped up in something, and then you take too big of a step, too long of a second step, and I mean stuff that you do every single day, and you kind of lose sight of it. But then once you get the first hit, once you catch your first pass, everything just kind of, you take a breath, and then you're locked in after that.
Looking back, the short yardage, you had some troubles there as an offense. What did you see in film, and how do you fix that?
We're just going to stay vertical. We got all the talent in the world, and I have all the confidence in the world in these guys. Like, no matter what anybody says, I mean, we got the right people in the room, we got the right people on the line. We're just going to come off the ball vertically, and that's all there is to it. Short and simple, and let's get north to south.
That was about as big of a goal as we've seen from G. What did you make of kind of how he played and what he did to earn that spot?
Yeah, I mean, he's done well in the offseason. He's done well in the preseason, and to have him out there as another tight end, that's just good to see more tight ends get playing time, and everybody's always going to cheer for a tight end, especially me.
Cade,